we're going to look at our last formula for Chapter 4. And this formula is called the Savings Plan Formula for regular payments. Now, I know what you're thinking. The last few formulas that we've been using are just not complicated enough, right? No, I doubt that's what you're thinking. But yeah, this one is going to be the most complicated formula that we're going to see. But if we approach it very carefully, we'll always get the right answer. We just have to be extremely careful putting it in the calculator. Okay? So let's talk about it, what this even means, what we're doing, and then we can define all of these terms here in a minute. So here's the idea. Most people, when they want to deposit some money in a bank, they can't start by putting a huge amount of money in the bank and then just letting it sit there, right? Most people can't afford to put $10,000 in the bank and just sit for 30 years and then see what happens at the end of the 30 years. What most people can do is they can put a monthly deposit in the bank. So, to do a very simple example, suppose you deposit $100 every month in a bank. And let's assume that every month you earn 1% interest. So what we're doing is we're using the compound interest formula. We have a bank account that earns 12% interest, and we divide it into 12 pieces because we're going to be compounding monthly. So each month we'll get 1% interest, and if we add up all the interest, at least those percentages, will equal 12% because it's 1% every month. So every time you make a deposit, at the end of the month, you're going to earn 1% interest. So this is what's going to happen. Let's say you start in January and you put $100 in the first of the month. So at the end of the month, you're going to earn 1% interest, which means you're going to have $100 in the bank. This number is really nice because 1% is just this 100, move the decimal place over twice. You can check it in your calculator, but you're going to earn $1. So you're going to have $101 on like January. I think there's 31 days in January, so January 31st. Then February, let's say February 1st, you put in another $100. So that means you're going to have $201 in the bank at the end of the month. You're going to earn 1% interest, so you're going to have the 201 in there, and then 1% interest, which is moving the decimal over 2 places. You're going to get $2.01. So at the end of the month, you'll have 203.01. So February 28th. So March 1st comes around, you put in another $100, so you'd have 303.01. At the end of the month, you're going to earn interest on everything that's in the bank, so you have the 303.01, and then you're also going to get 3.0301. So you're going to have about 306.04. I'm just going to, because I'd have 01 here, I'm just going to round to the nearest cent. So you see what's happening. Each month you're adding money into the account, and each month you're earning a little bit of interest. And that interest is based on all the money that's in that bank account at the end of the month. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to say, hey, suppose I have, I put in $250 or $100 or something in the bank, and I want to know how much money, so I'm putting that $250 in the bank, or however much money in the bank every month, and every month I'm getting interest. How much money will I have after, let's say, 12 years or something like that? That's what we're going to be doing. So let's erase this and let's look at the formula that I'm giving you. Again, this formula, I'll give it to you on the test. You'll just need to know how to use it. Okay. So I got a lot of little bits of information here. A is going to be the accumulated balance. Same thing we know A to be, and R is going to be the APR, or the annual percentage rate, as a decimal. So that we're going to give you a rate, you just have to convert it from a percentage to a decimal. Okay, T is going to be time in years. So those are the things that are going to be normal here. The new things are PMT, which is your monthly payment. And the other new thing, it's not really new, but it's going to be N, and this is going to be fixed for all of our problems. N is going to be 12, because the idea is we are compounding once a month. So 12 times a year, so we're doing this monthly, so N is going to be 12. You could choose a different N depending on your bank account, but for all the problems that we're going to look at, N is going to be 12. This is going to be fixed. We're compounding monthly. You're never going to have to change that involving this problem or this formula. Okay, let's give this our first shot. Let's try it. See if we can even work with this formula. Let's write the important pieces down and see what we need. Find the savings plan balance after 5 years. Okay, that's the first piece of information we're given. T is 5. With an APR of 2.5%. Okay, we're given that. We can cross it out. Monthly payments of $100. So that's what PMT is. $100 every month. Okay. Now, good question you might ask me is, which formula do I use? Obviously, we're in this section, we're going to be using the savings plan formula, but on a test, I might mix all the different kinds of questions, like find the accumulated balance, compounded monthly, suppose we have simple interest, compounded interest, and then a problem like this. How do you know which formula to use? And there's always secret keywords, and the keyword here to using this is monthly payments. Can't really see that, so let me try red. Monthly payments. If you have a problem that says monthly payments, you're going to use a savings plan formula. So let's write that formula again. A is PMT 1 plus R over N to the NT minus 1, all divided by R over N. Just want to double check one more time. Okay, good. So this is the formula we're going to use. So we just need to put all the important pieces of information, okay? Payment is $100, so I'm going to put 100 here. R is 0.025. Remember that I said N is fixed in these problems. N is always going to be 12, so I'm going to put 12 here. T is 5, so we're going to put times 5. And then instead of R and N, we're just going to copy this piece, 0.025 divided by 12. Okay, so how in the world will we put this in the calculator? My suggestion for this is to put the top in the calculator first. Hit equals, and then divide by this piece. So let me show you what I mean. I'm just going to put this top piece in my calculator. So let me clear this out. I'm going to put 100. Notice that this is just a fancy parentheses. So I'm just going to put a parentheses, okay? Then another one. 1 plus 0.025 divided by 12, okay? Raised. Be careful, you need another parentheses here. And then subtract 1 in parentheses. Let's see if we got everything. 100, here's a parentheses, put them both. 1 plus 0.025 divided by 12, okay? You can put extra parentheses here if you want. Raised, in the top I need to put 60, so 12 times 5, that's 60 here. Then subtract 1 in parentheses. Here we're going to hit enter. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to hit the division sign. So automatically, right after you get this, hit divide, okay? Then in parentheses, put what's on the bottom, which is 0.025 divided by 12. All right? 0.025 divided by 12. Enter. Now we have our answer. 6,384.05. 6384.05. So if we put $100 in every month for 5 years, we will have $6,384.05. Now, a follow-up question to this is, how much money did you actually put in the bank? You didn't put $100 in the bank and make $6,000 out of it. Remember, you're putting $100 every month. So there's 12 months in a year. So if I was to ask you, how much money did you actually put in the bank? So you would say, well, I took $100 from my check every month, so for 12 months in 1 year, and I did this for 5 years. So I put $6,000 in. So compare these two. You made $384 after 5 years. It's not a whole lot of money, but you didn't put a whole lot of money in, and you did it monthly. Let's try another one. Find the savings plan balance after 24 months with an APR of 5% and monthly payments of $250. Okay, monthly payments keyword, we need the savings plan formula. Let's write the savings plan formula. is A is PMT 1 plus R over N to the NT minus 1, all divided by R over N. Now I did that from memory, so let's just look at it again. It was payment R over N, NT, R over N. Okay. So let's figure out what the pieces are that we need. First off, we're told that we have a monthly payment of $250. Okay. We have an APR of 5%, which is 0.05. We know that N is fixed. It's always going to be 12 for these problems. So we've got the R, we've got the N, we need the T. Okay, we need to be very careful here because this is a trick. They say T is 24 months. Remember, I told you that we give time in years. So T is going to be 2 because 24 months, there's 12 months in a year, so that's 2 years. Okay, do we have all the pieces we need? Let's see. Payment is $250. R is 0.05. We said N is 12. And time is 2. Let's put it in the calculator. We're going to put the top in the calculator first. So 250, 2 parentheses, 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12, raised parentheses, 12 times 2, subtract 1. Let's double check. 250, 1 plus 0.05 divided by 12, 12 times 2 minus 1. Hit enter. Then put division immediately after with a parentheses, and then put this rate over N, which is 0.05 divided by 12. Hit enter. We get 6296.48. So after 2 years, we'll have $6,296.48 in the bank. How much money did we put in? Well, let's see. We put $250 every month for 12 months, and we did this for 2 years, $6,000. So we earned $296. So I think I've done enough problems showing you how to find A. Okay. The last problem we're going to do, 2 problems. All right, remember how in the last video we were trying to find P? We're going to do that here as well. So before I read this to you, I'm going to write some information down here, and then we'll go through this problem. So let's write the payment formula down. It was A is PMT 1 plus R over N to the NT minus 1, all divided by R over N. We're going to be interested for the last 2 problems how to find the payment. So we're going to want to have a certain amount of money in a bank after a certain amount of time with a certain amount of APR. And the question will now be not what is the one deposit that you need to put in at the beginning of the, when we start using the bank account, but how much you should put in every month. Well, I'm going to tell you the formula, and then you don't have to memorize it, but I'm going to tell you what the formula is, and then I'll show you how to get it, just in case you're curious. So the idea is to solve for payment. We want to figure out the monthly payment. So this is going to be A times R over N. Now you have two options here. I think the easiest thing to do is to say 1 plus R over N to the NT minus 1 to the negative 1. So you can use this formula, or payment is A R over N divided by 1 plus R over N to the NT minus 1. So whichever formula you like, they're the same thing, and I'll tell you in just a second. I think this one would be, it might be easier for you to put in the calculator. That's why I gave you this one. I guess it really depends on you, but let's see how we got this. You don't have to know how to do this, but I'm just going to talk you through it pretty quickly. What I did was I want to solve for payment. Since I'm dividing by R over N, I need to get rid of it, so I multiply both sides by R over N. That's why I've got A times R over N here. And then to get rid of this thing, I need to divide, and that's why I have it in the denominator here. Okay, so I would multiply by R over N and then divide by this. So this is how, the first way you would get it. And then remember that the exponent here, if you don't see an exponent, the exponent is 1. You don't have to put that there, but the reason I'm putting it there is because I can raise it to the numerator and put a negative with it. So either formula is fine, whichever one is easier for you to put in your calculator.